Hello, this is Nick Felice, the OCG, and this is a buyer's guide to Dominion. So Dominion was released in 2008, designed by Donald X. Vaccarino and put out by Rio Grande Games. In 2009, it won the Spiel des Jahres, and since then there has been many more sets and expansion sets. And so today, rather than show you how to play the game, I'm just going to be talking about if you're wanting to buy it, how to do so, what's the best way to do that. And my goal is for this video to be the be-all, end-all answer to the infamous question, which expansion should I buy next? So in the wonderful world of Dominion, the first game to come out was, well, Dominion. It didn't have a theme as far as like an overarching theme of what all the cards did. It just simply was Dominion and it had 25 different kingdom cards. Then after that came Intrigue, which was another standalone set. You could just buy this game, and it had 25 more kingdom cards, and it focused a little bit more on, slightly more on interaction and attacking, but its main focus was different victory cards, as well as cards that gave you choices. So that's Intrigue, and then after that came Seaside. Now, Seaside was the first expansion. You had to own either Dominion or Dominion Intrigue in order to play it. It included 26 new kingdom cards, and its focus was your next turn. All the cards geared toward making your next turn even better, and it included the beloved duration type. After Seaside came Alchemy. Alchemy probably has the worst rep of all the Dominion expansions. Not a lot of people love it. It introduced a new currency, potions. It was a small set, only came with 12 more kingdom cards, and I like it, but not a lot of people do. Then came Prosperity, the most beloved expansion by almost everyone, and it's very high up on my list as well. Its main focus was wealth. All the game geared towards was making you richer. Your decks were always going to be filled with high currency. It included new platinum cards in the colonies, as well as some cards that gave you victory point tokens outside of the cards. And everybody loves good old Prosperity. Oh, it also had treasures that had abilities and whatnot. Then after Prosperity came Cornucopia. Cornucopia was the second small box expansion. It included 13 new kingdom cards, as well as 5 prize cards to go with Tournament. Its main focus was on variety in the cards that you were buying, so you're buying all the different types of cards that were available, and that's Cornucopia. Then Hinterlands. Hinterlands was another big box. By the way, after Intrigue, all of these are simply expansions, but Hinterlands, its main focus was cards that do something right when you gain them or buy them. So they have like abilities that happen right that in addition to their normal abilities that the cards have. It had 26 kingdom cards, and as well as it was interesting because they had like 3 reaction cards, 3 treasures, 3 victories, and just gave you a lot of variety. After that came the small little base card set. This card set just gave you new artwork for all of the basic, copper, silver, gold, as well as colony platinum potion. And it also allows you to turn any of the expansion boxes into a standalone box set. Then Dark Ages came out. Dark Ages is a very large box expansion. It's the same size, but instead of only having 300 cards, it has 500 cards. It gives you 35 new kingdom cards. Its main focus was definitely on both attacking and just being nasty to your other players, as well as the trash, and it definitely gives you a feel of clawing your way out of poverty. That was the word I was looking for. And after Dark Ages came Guilds. Guilds, the last expansion, is a small box, included 13 new kingdom cards, and it had money that you could save and spend for later, as well as cards you could overpay for, and it's sad because this is the last one and I want more. I love Dominion. But that is all of the sets. So, how do you go about buying Dominion, you ask? Well, that's what this video is all about. So, in order to play Dominion, you need the basic cards, gold, silver, copper, as well as at least 10 kingdom cards. And to do that, there's 3 different ways to go about so. First off would be to purchase Dominion. Now, this is always what I recommend first whenever somebody says, what do I buy first for Dominion? Because it's very simple. It doesn't have a lot of complex rules. The only downfall to it is some people find some of the cards boring, as well as there's some cards that are just not that good. They almost have been improved in later sets with similar abilities. But if you are thinking of buying Dominion and you think there's even an inch of a chance that you would buy an expansion as well, I would definitely recommend you just purchase the base set of Dominion first. But that's only one of the options. Next, you could do Intrigue. So Intrigue also includes all the basic cards that you need to play and 25 different Kingdom cards from Dominion. And it's a little more interactive, a little bit more complex, just because it has more abilities on the cards and whatnot. And while you definitely can buy Intrigue before Dominion, I always recommend Dominion just because it's simpler. But if you're going to buy Intrigue, maybe you have already played Dominion, a friend owns the base set, and you want to own Intrigue, hey, go ahead. It also maybe a little more gamery, so if you're more of a gamer, then you might enjoy Intrigue a little more. I do like Intrigue more, but I still always recommend base Dominion first. And the other option is you can get the base card set and then buy that in conjunction with an expansion. Now, you can do this with any of the expansions that I'd mentioned, but I would not recommend doing it with either Alchemy, Cornucopia, or Guilds, because they are small box expansions. You're only going to have like 12 or 13 different Kingdom cards to choose from, and it's just not going to give you enough variety and options long-term wise. Now, the main time I would recommend using the base card set is if, for whatever reason, you don't want to be expanding in Dominion, you don't want to get a bunch of different sets, you just want to have one set, then that's when I would recommend to just get the base card set and one of the big box expansions. I still would always recommend Dominion or Intrigue ahead of doing this, but maybe a friend owns both Dominion and Intrigue, and for money purposes or complexity purposes, you're only going to own one set, then this would be the option I would go with. So when you buy the base cards, you have to do it in conjunction with one of the big box expansions. So the best one, in my opinion, for doing that is Seaside. Seaside, one of the very nice things about Seaside is it feels very thematic. Dominion's not drenching in theme or anything, but all the cards have that sea, watery, piratey type feel, and it just gives the game a real sense of theme, and it's very immersive in that way. This, once again, it focused on cards from your next turn as well as duration cards. 26 Kingdom cards. Let's see here. So for Seaside, it had 5 different attack cards as well as 2 non-attack cards, one of which is pretty attacky though. And essentially, it's got a good level of variety. It has a good level of interaction, as you can see. So, and it's also my second favorite set out of all of them. And so if you're going to get just one set, I would definitely recommend Seaside. But if you're not wanting Seaside, maybe because it has fiddly bits or whatever, a lot of people don't like the fact that it has extra coins and the embargo tokens and everything. If you just want cards, then I guess Seaside isn't for you. Now, if you are just going to get one set, once again, if it's not Dominion or Intrigue, you got to make sure that you're doing that with the base card set. So you could do Hinterlands plus the base card set. And Hinterlands has 26 Kingdom cards, 3 of which are attack, 3 of which are non-attack cards, but one of those non-attack cards is pretty attacky. It also has 2 reaction cards that aren't directly, or that are directly like blocking attacks or helping you from them and everything. So the main thing about Hinterlands, though, is it would be the most complex out of the sets. I don't know if everyone would agree with me on that. It's pretty close up there with Dark Ages. But Hinterlands is very complex, and so if you're just going to get Hinterlands, I just don't think it's the best option. It won't have enough variety in like cost levels. It won't, I don't know, the game feels flooded with all these convoluted rules, and if that's the only set that you have, that's how you're going to be playing all the time. But if you like complex, reading all the rules, which I love, but I don't recommend it for the most fun experience over and over and over. Now, you could do base cards plus Prosperity, which is a very good choice. Once again, this does have extra components aside from cards. So if you don't like that, then don't get Prosperity, but just like it, okay? And you don't even have to use those cards that have the extra components if you really don't feel like it. Now, the nice thing about this is it adds the Platinums and Colonies, so that will be a choice for you if this is your only set. The 25 Kingdom cards that are included with it are highly interactive, so if you want those cards that are directly interactive, Prosperity is definitely a great choice. It has 3 attack cards and 5 non-attack cards that are still interactive, as well as a reaction card. So you're going to be interacting with the players in almost any Prosperity-focused game. When a game is really focused on Prosperity, it's very wealthy. You're going to have a lot of money for the most part. It's not going to be a type of game where you're whittling down your deck, which is the types of games that I like. But if you like just buying all these cards and just throwing down an awesome hand, then Prosperity would probably be the one for you. Now, the other choice would be Dark Ages. Now, Dark Ages definitely will give you the most variety if it is the only set you own. So if you're doing Dark Ages, one of the things you got to keep in mind is this is definitely the nastiest set. It's very attack-focused with 6 attack cards and 2 non-attack interactive cards. But a game that only has Dark Ages cards feels very sluggish. It feels like you're in poverty and you're just trying to claw your way out. The games definitely always take longer, and I love Dark Ages games. I don't like it to be just Dark Ages, so that's why I wouldn't recommend Dark Ages being the only one that you own, but it has some really fun trash-focused cards, which is what I love. But for you, if you're not into attacking the other player, if you're not into that tough feeling where you're really trying to pull together a plan in order to win this game, if that's not something you enjoy, then Dark Ages would not be the choice for you to be the only set that you own. Now, another thing is Dominion is a game for 2 to 4 players. I like it best with 2, and 3 is okay. I don't even like playing it with 4. But there is a way you can play with 5 to 6. And to do that, you need to have 2 sets of the basic cards. And the best way to do that, if you're looking to play with 5 or 6 players, is definitely to own both Dominion and Intrigue. So if your group is like a 5-player group and you guys are wanting to play Dominion all together, then you're going to have to get both Dominion and Intrigue to do that. You can get the base card set, or you could buy 2 of them if you want to in conjunction with an expansion. But the easiest and the best way, in my opinion, to do that would be to get both Dominion and Intrigue, and that's in order to play with 5 or 6 players. Now, maybe you already own the basic cards to Dominion and you're looking to expand the game. Now, to do that, you can buy any of the various expansions that are available. And so I'm going to go through different things that the expansions do well. And so if you're looking for this, here's the best sets to get for that. If you're looking for this, here's the best sets to get to that, etc. Now, if you like games that are very attack-focused, if you love to be going at your opponent and throwing them curses and making them discard cards and everything, you got a few different options that definitely provide the most. The biggest set that is going to include a lot of those kind of cards is Dark Ages. Dark Ages has 6 attack cards, and because it's such a poverty-focused set, the attacks in this set are pretty nasty. And so if you're looking to attack your opponent, Dark Ages would definitely be my first choice. For attacks, I would definitely say Intrigue should be your second choice. This is a basic set, so you might already own it, or if you own Dominion, then get this. It'll let you play 5 to 6 players if you really want to, but I don't like playing with 5 to 6 players. But anyways, this has 4 attack cards as well as 2 non-attack interactive cards that kind of feel like attacks. And it is definitely a set that has some pretty has a few of the meanest cards in the game. And so if you're looking for more attacks, Intrigue would definitely be a good choice. If you're looking at one of the small boxes for maybe money purposes or whatever, if you're looking to get more attacks, then Alchemy has only 2 attacks, but one of the attacks in it are very nasty. And then there's a non-attack card that is one of the most hated cards in the game, and that's Possession, and that one just beats your opponent down. And but once again, the thing with Alchemy is a lot of people don't like the potions aspect. Basically, there's 2 currencies now. Some cards will have potions in their cost, and so if that appeals to you, then I would get Alchemy if you're wanting a more mean game. But if you don't want that, Cornucopia and Guilds, pretty much on even playing fields. I would say Cornucopia has more attacks. I don't know. They're pretty much at the same level. So if you're wanting more attack cards, definitely your choice should be Dark Ages. If you're not looking to get Dark Ages because of the sloggy feel of it, then I would probably say Seaside at that point. Seaside has a few nasty attack cards, and so that'll definitely add some more into your game. Now, maybe you want interactive cards, but you're not necessarily looking to always be attacking your opponent. You just want cards that are more directly interactive with the other players of the table. And that, friends, is Prosperity's job. Prosperity only has 3 attack cards in it, but it has 5 non-attack cards that are directly interactive with the other players. And so when you're playing a game of Prosperity, it always feels like everything your opponent is doing really matters to you. There's cards that have really good abilities, but when you play them, it helps out your opponent. So Prosperity is definitely a choice if you want that. Hinterlands has some non-attack interactive cards, although the more I think about it, it does have a few attack cards, so it kind of balances itself out. Now, a lot of people don't like games where there's extra bits that aren't cards in the game, and so if you don't like that, then know that Seaside, Prosperity, and Guilds all have extra bits, and so if you're not into that for whatever reason, then those sets aren't for you. Now, if you're looking for a wealth-driven game, Prosperity would definitely be the best choice. It makes you feel very wealthy when you're playing this game, and all the cards are all about giving you a ton of money and having you have a ton of options on your turn. It even has new 7-cost cards, which is very nice. If you already have Prosperity and you're looking for a little bit more of that flavor, then Guilds would probably be your next choice, as it has money you can save and spend on later turns. So it definitely has that money-driven feel to it. And if not Guilds, then you can also get Hinterlands. Hinterlands has a few treasure cards that have abilities, and just definitely has a wealthy, lot of cards type feel. And after Hinterlands, Cornucopia has some pretty wealthy cards because it focuses so much on variety's sake that you're wanting to buy a ton of different cards, and so Cornucopia is also a good choice if you're looking for that. And so as a reiteration, I'll just order the expansions from simplest to most complex. Simplest would be the original Dominion, and then Intrigue would be the second most complex, the second simplest. Then Prosperity, Cornucopia, Seaside, and Alchemy. And then the 3 most complex in reverse order would be Guilds, Dark Ages, and then the most complex, which would be Hinterlands. So if you're looking for simplicity's sake, and you like all the sets, but if you just want to start with the more simple ones and move all the way down to the most complex ones, that's a good order to get all the sets in. And that leads me to another thing. A lot of people plan on owning all the sets. They just want to know what order to buy them in. So if you want to go from simple to complex, that list I just put out is a good choice. But when in doubt, just buy them in the order that they came out, because oftentimes certain cards will kind of be reiterated in more complex plays later, and so you want to see the simpler versions first. So just the order that they came out is the be-all, end-all way if you're planning to be a completionist like me and buy all of the sets. Now, if you already own the basic cards required to play Dominion, the main purpose for the base card set would be for the new artwork. So you can see, like, here's an old province versus a new province. And, here's an old copper versus the new artwork copper. Turn it the right way up. That would be nice, huh? And so you can see on these newer cards that the artwork is expanded throughout the entire thing, and then it shows, like, what it does right here. I really like the new artwork because it kind of just gives a more immersive sense, and it's just more beautiful to be looking at your awesome hand or terrible hand. And the other thing you can use the base card set for is if your basic cards get damaged from playing or water damage or whatever, this will replace those pretty nicely for you and give you some new artwork at that. But wait, there's more. Because there's also 6 different promo cards that have been made available at various conventions that Rio Grande has been at showing Dominion, and all of these cards are available on the Board Game Geek store. I think, I don't know, maybe Wild Village might be out. But either way, if you get a chance to get these, they are nice. Envoy would be my least favorite. It's just a boring card, doesn't add much to the game. Black Market is a very interesting card. you make a deck of all the cards that you're not using in the game, and then when you play this card, you get to reveal the top 3 and purchase one of those, so you get one card that nobody else even has access to. So if that's interesting to you, this is a card to get. If that seems kind of swingy, which is how I feel about it, then it's not very that good. It's not really that good. So that is why it's my 5th favorite. And then we have, Walled Village, which is just a village that if you don't make use of the 2 actions, then you get to put it back on top of your deck. Kind of boring. And then Stash. Stash is a really cool card. The back of it is differently, but because this is the randomizer card, I can't show you that different back, but it has a nice Spiel des Jahres logo. And essentially when you shuffle, you can put it in anywhere in your deck, and it's just a silver. And I think it's a fun card to use. Governor is a very friendly interactive card. When you play it, you get to do a better version of something, and everyone else gets to do a weaker version of it. It's a very, very powerful card, and one that's a lot of fun to play. And then my favorite is the newest, and that is Prince. Prince is an 8-cost card, the very first and only one other than Peddler, although that has a star. But so Prince allows you to set it aside with another action, and then you're going to play that action every single time, and I don't know, I think it's just fun. I one time had a game where I had like 9 princes out, and yeah, I could have bought the whole province pile by then, but it was fun to set up, okay? So don't yell at me for that. Don't tell me that I played the game wrong, because I was having fun, and that's what games are all about. Yeah. So those promos, they're available for you. They're a little expensive because you're just buying like a pack of cards, and they're between $2.50 and $5. But some of them add stuff to the game, and if you're a completionist like me, you didn't have a choice to buy them anyway. So there you go. And now I'll just go through all the sets in order from the one I like the least to the one I like the most and tell you why that is. So my least favorite set is Cornucopia, and not that it has bad cards. There's actually a couple really good cards that I like in it, Remake being my favorite out of this set. But because it's focused on variety, you're going to be buying a lot of different cards, and just that's not the way I play for my play style. I'm more of a deck thinner, focus on a couple cards and just build a nice engine. And so that's why Cornucopia is my least favorite. But hey, if you like that variety, buying everything that's available, having a ton of options, then Cornucopia is definitely for you. Next would be the base set of Dominion, which is, by the way, Cornucopia, I still love it. I love Dominion. It's my favorite game of all time. So it's not like the ones lower on the list are least favorite. This is just my personal tastes. But Dominion, simply because the cards are very simple, and I've had it for so long, I guess I'm slightly losing interest in some of the cards. Not losing interest in Dominion as a whole, just some of the cards I've seen so many times that I'm just not that thrilled by them. Okay, so 7th favorite, or 3rd last favorite, I don't know which way I should go right now, but I'm going to move on into Dominion Hinterlands, which it's the most complex one, which normally I would really like that. I don't know what it is. It's just nothing about Hinterlands really grabs me. There's nothing that I really, really love about it. It has a couple of awesome cards. I'm not really sure what my favorite would be. Fool's Gold is a fun card. But Hinterlands, still a great set. And then would be Intrigue, the other basic set. And Intrigue, I love the extra victory cards and some of the choice cards that it gives you. It has some pretty cool cards. Masquerade, definitely being the best card out of this set. Maybe the best card in the entire game that I love to play with. I don't know. Although I'm really liking the new promo card of Prince. But anyways, Intrigue. Yeah, that would be number... What am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 6. This is the 6th best. All right, 5th best. Alchemy. Yes, normally this would be at the bottom of almost anyone else's list. But I really enjoy it. I like the new currency, especially when you're playing with... The rules say 3 to 5 alchemy cards. I'm more of like a 2 to 4, but still, whatever. And the nice thing about it is it just, do you buy that potion, use one of your precious turns to get a potion so you can get some of these other powerful cards that have the potions, So there's a lot of choices. Familiar would probably be my favorite card out of this set. That's a heavy, heavy cursor, and this can be a bit of a nasty set. It's smaller, but I really like it. But not a lot of people do, so take that with a grain of salt. If somebody's like, hey, what Dominion expansion should I buy right now? I'm probably almost never going to recommend Alchemy simply because not a lot of people take to it. I would almost recommend getting it last unless you're going to go in order. Do that. Then, number 4 would be Guilds. I really like the whole thing of like the money that you can save and spend it later. I think it's a really cool concept. The overpaying mechanic is okay. I don't know, and it's the last expansion, so poor guilds. And then Prosperity. Now this is everyone's favorite expansion. Well, not everyone, but the majority of people, if you average it out, I think this would definitely fall at number 1 as the favorite expansion. And I love it. It's my 3rd favorite. It has that wealth feeling. Platinums and colonies are so much fun. Bishop is favorite card. Probably would be in my top 5 cards in the game. And I just really enjoy it. And if somebody asks what Dominion expansion should I get next, and they already own Prosperity, I will almost always recommend this one first because it fits that interactive thing that people want. It has that wealth feeling that a lot of people like. And, so if you're watching this part of the video and you're still like, gosh, I don't know, and you don't own Prosperity, get Prosperity. Unless you don't like extra bits, which I still don't understand that. But anyways, Prosperity. Second favorite is Seaside. I already mentioned that earlier in the stuff. One of the things a lot of people like are duration type cards, which I do love durations, but that's not what really grabs me about it. I don't know, just the immersive kind of feel of them all being about the sea and everything is really cool. It has a ton of awesome cards that I love, like Treasury, Pirate Ship's a fun one. It has a lot of fun things going for it, so I almost always recommend Seaside as well. And then my favorite one, Dark Ages. Always do that. Dark Ages. Dark Ages is my favorite set. It has the most variety in it, having 35 different kingdom cards, as well as a ton of other stuff like Ruins. I mean, there's a card Knights where every single card is a little bit different. Like, that's just cool. And it just has a lot of cool things going for it. My favorite mechanic in Dominion is trashing cards, and that's what the focus of this expansion is. So you can bet when it was announced that it was about trashing, I was foaming at the mouth. Well, not foaming, drooling. I don't have rabies, I promise. But anyways, Dark Ages is my favorite set. The only thing, I don't really like games that it's all Dark Ages cards, because sometimes those can become a little slow and drag on, and so I like it to be mixed with the other expansions. But the cards that come out of Dark Ages are my favorite, and this is my favorite set. Alright, so that concludes my buyer's guide to Dominion. Hopefully what I told you about all the different sets helped you to figure out what order you want to buy the expansions in, or even how to even start with purchasing Dominion. This game has a very soft spot in my heart. Probably it was the second strategic design or whatever game that I got, and it still holds a spot in my number 1 game of all time. I absolutely love it, with the 206 different cards that are available, endless variety. I absolutely love this game. So if this was helpful, go ahead and like the video and comment on it or whatever. I don't know. I hate asking for that kind of stuff, but I want it. So just if you could comment on this video, maybe if I missed something about Dominion that would have been helpful, let me know. I'm not perfect in all of this, but yeah, that concludes the video. So if you will excuse me, I'm gonna go play Dominion because I love this game. This is my favorite game.